Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and your support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. And if you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, loyalty crown badges, you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help, so thank you guys so much. And for today's video, the tier list rankings are officially out for Elegg. Now, before, I actually missed out on Doro, so I want to double back, and I'm just going to make this a summer tier list consensus review. And I'm going to be looking at Pride Win, and I'm going to be talking about loot and waifus as well. Now, for me, I mostly use loot and waifus. I don't like using Pride Win. I have some strong feelings about it. We'll talk about it later. But for now, I want to talk about both, see their insights, and then we're going to just get started. So let me scoot on over, and let's put it on screen right here. And as always, we are at Pride Win, and we're looking at the tier list to go see the consensus now. Now, we are going to be only focusing on high deficit right now. Bossing obviously makes sense, but we are not going to be looking at low deficit. I feel like low deficit shouldn't even be a ranking in the first place. Obviously, PvP has its purpose, but mostly we're just talking about PvE here. And let's get a good look. So, from how they ranked it, they actually put Doro in the meta category, but she is S tier. She is S tier in low deficit, high deficit, SS in bossing, and A in PvP. Oh, she does alright, kind of decent in PvP, not bad. But when we go look at the review, if we scroll all the way down, we can see their pros and cons for this. And their pros are that she is the strongest water DPS as of her release, strong presence in neutral elements as well, and may bring shotgun team back on the table in terms of meta, supports flexible team building and effectively works with multiple supports, which is true, has Pierce, which allows her to manage multiple mobs and multiplies her damage against bosses with clustered hitboxes, shields, and parts. That is true. Her Pierce plus her attack buffs is what makes her do a lot of consistent damage, coupled with her attack speed as well. Makes sense. Great hit rate. All her damage can core hit and Pierce hit. So good. So soft, so white, reviewed by Rappy. Yeah, no, she looks incredible. Now, obviously, there are a lot of cons because of the self-attack buffs and stuff, and everything. She eats through ammo, low burst generation, and obviously, being a limited time meta banner, which is unfortunate. But I'm gonna be honest, I feel like she should at least be SS, because not only is she the strongest water DPS, but she's great in neutral content. That alone, to me, makes her a really top solid unit. And for the idea that shotgun teams weren't meta to begin with, or that they're somehow back, I think is kind of crap, because shotgun team is really good and is becoming a mainstay as well for a lot of people in solo raid for shotgun teams. So even before Dorothy, shotgun teams were already kind of meta, especially with Tuve and stuff. So now they're pretty much meta, and I feel like they've always been meta, so I don't know why they commented that. But now we're going to be talking about Elegg. And Elegg, I'm going to be honest, I got some fighting words over here, okay? Because they put Elegg into C tier and high deficit. Like, she's not the strongest, but to be on par with some of these characters in here is absolutely crazy to me. I'm sorry, she is not as bad as somebody like Kilo. I don't even understand how Drake's here, but then her treasure's also in B tier. Like, that's insane to me. I don't understand why Maiden is separated from Elegg when they are practically the same character for a different element. Now, I might just start sounding like a hater, but I don't understand, because in their own review, they say that Summer Elegg resembles Christmas Maiden for the most part. The stronger the other B3s are, the more influential she is. However, like Maiden, she also has damage, which is a crucial trait for her, basic attacks, overloading ghosts. And they also say, we predict that she will be optional meta for Water Week maxing content. Although optional, meta is mentioned there as well. So I don't really understand why there's contradiction between the actual review and the placement, but I digress. Now we get down to the actual pros and cons. One of the best water supporters that require cheap investment to work. Compared to other supporters for water, she has way higher damage output if well invested, which can push the damage to another level, just like Siren. Well, I don't know about that far, I'm gonna be honest. Decent wipe, which works extremely well against bosses with ads. Think of Harvester, which is true. Doesn't occupy a burst slot since she is ideally used off burst. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people with testing as well has seen some good results as well with bursting. So I don't know about that one. It is true though that you can close out a match with a strong burst if there's a few seconds left. And her MLB has feet. I'm just saying that is based. And then in the cons as well, we talk about the cheap investment, but that's the, you know, the baseline and stuff. She is a very, very needy character. Her output is terrible if you compare her to meta DPS, which is true. Her output is rough. However, she should be on par with your Christmas Maiden. That's what I don't understand. So I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest. Like, this might be a slight rant, but sometimes I don't understand why Pridewin ranks the characters the way they do, because it doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that you would put Dorothy in the same line as somebody like Ray, or even to put Modernia in the same category as Ray, I don't understand. I know there is power creep, but that doesn't take away from the characters being good. I'm gonna be honest. I think Pridewin is complete garbage when it comes to tier list rankings. I do not like it at all. If you like Pridewin, more power to you. However, let me show you a better website, and that is Loot and Waifus by Sefhi. Now, this is gonna sound like a hashtag ad. I'm not affiliated with Sefhi's website at all. He's just a friend, but also he has a competent community that also helps make the tier list possible the way it is. And it's making sense all the way. Look at the T0, look at the T1. Obviously, Dorothy, with how strong she is, it makes sense that she would be a meta character. Alongside of all these other characters. They're all meta, and that's perfectly fine. And here's where I feel a little bit of better satisfaction for me personally. Because when you look at the good units, you see Drake with the treasure is here, you see Elegg with Maiden in the same category because they are pretty much the same character for a different element. Doesn't take it away, makes sense, and that's why I think this is good. Now, Tuve is here specifically because of her treasure. There are a lot of units here that are considered good in the T1 category, and I prefer this structure more than the whole like triple S, SSS character. However, Pridewin could make it good if it wasn't so messy. I feel like this is way structured better, and if you want to look at it, obviously with Elegg, there are builds, how you can do it, the pros and the cons. But however, this is so little, and it makes sense because this is on par with Christmas Maiden the way that she is described. It's not different, it's not more pros and cons, it's pretty much the same thing. So to me, I feel like I prefer this tier list ranking. I think Elegg is great. I think Dorothy is amazing. Now, obviously waifu over meta, but if you're going to be taking tier list consensus from anybody, I feel like you should probably just go with Loot and Waifus personally. And at the end of the day, there are so many theory crafters out there. Master Sparks, there's Sky, there's Sefhi himself, me. I love doing testing videos when I can, seeing all the results from the community as well, do your own testing, and at the end of the day, just have fun. That's pretty much it for me. Do let me know what your guys' thoughts are on everything. Did I have such a bad take talking about Pridewin? Let me know. I feel like I might get crucified a little bit, but that's just my honest take. I'm sorry. That is going to be it from me. I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from, and as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care, and have a good one.